Have you ever wondered if silver is the most undervalued asset on the planet right now? Many people are talking about gold, but the real story, the explosive story, might just be happening with its shiny cousin. Welcome back to the channel, where today we're diving deep into a topic that could redefine your investment portfolio, the future of silver. We're not just talking about a small price jump, we're exploring a bold prediction, why $75 could become the new support level for silver, especially after the market volatility we've been seeing. Now, I know what you're thinking. $75? That sounds ambitious, maybe even a little crazy, especially when you look at today's prices. But stick with me, because the data and the fundamental drivers are telling a story that's hard to ignore. This isn't just wishful thinking. It's based on a powerful convergence of factors that are setting the stage for a massive revaluation of silver. First, let's talk about the elephant in the room: market crashes and volatility. We've all seen how quickly markets can turn. Precious metals often experience sharp sell-offs during liquidity crises, when investors sell everything to raise cash. We saw it in 2008. We saw it in March 2020. Silver, being a smaller, more volatile market than gold, can get hit particularly hard during these events. But here's the crucial part. Look at what happens after the crash. The recovery is often swift and powerful. These crashes act like a slingshot. They shake out the weak hands, clear the board, and then, fueled by monetary stimulus and a flight to safety, silver doesn't just recover, it roars back to life, often blowing past its previous highs. This is where the idea of a new, higher support level comes into play. A support level, or a price floor, is a price point that an asset has difficulty falling below. For a long time, silver struggled to stay above $20, then $25. But after each major rally and subsequent correction, the baseline moves higher. Think of it like climbing a mountain. You climb to a new height, set up a base camp, rest, and then prepare for the next ascent. That base camp becomes your new starting point. After the next major bull run, we believe the new base camp for silver won't be in the 20s or 30s, but all the way up at $75. So what are the catalysts that could propel silver to these levels and establish such a high floor? It boils down to two main drivers: unprecedented industrial demand and overwhelming monetary demand. Let's start with the industrial side, because this is where silver's story gets truly unique. Silver is not just a monetary metal like gold. It is one of the most critical industrial commodities on Earth. It's the most conductive and reflective metal, making it irreplaceable in a huge range of technologies. And right now, the demand from two key sectors is going absolutely parabolic: solar energy and electric vehicles. Every single solar panel needs silver. As the world pushes aggressively towards green energy to combat climate change, the demand for solar panels is exploding. Projections show that the amount of silver required for the solar industry alone could soon consume a massive chunk of the annual mine supply. We're talking about a structural, non-negotiable demand that is growing exponentially year after year. Then you have electric vehicles. EVs contain significantly more silver than traditional internal combustion engine cars. It's used in everything from battery connections to heated windshields and advanced driver assistance systems. With governments around the world mandating a switch to EVs, this is another source of relentless industrial demand that simply didn't exist on this scale a decade ago. Add to that the demand from 5G technology, medical applications, and countless other electronics, and you have a perfect storm of industrial consumption. Now, here's the kicker. For years, there's been a structural deficit in the silver market. That means we are consuming more silver than we are mining and recycling each year. This deficit has been drawn down from above-ground stockpiles. But those stockpiles are not infinite. You don't need to be an economist to understand what happens when rapidly growing demand meets a finite and possibly shrinking supply. Prices have to go up. It's simple economics. And not just up, but up dramatically to a level that either incentivizes new mining or forces industries to find alternatives, which, for many applications, don't exist. But that's only half the story. Let's pivot to the monetary side, which is arguably even more explosive. Silver has been money for thousands of years. It's often called the poor man's gold, but I prefer to think of it as the people's money. When people lose faith in their government-issued fiat currencies due to inflation and debt, they flock to hard assets. Look around the world right now. National debts are at eye-watering levels. Central banks have been printing money at a pace never seen before in human history. This massive currency debasement is eroding the purchasing power of your dollars, your euros, your yen. Every day, the money in your bank account buys you a little bit less. Sooner or later, the public wakes up to this reality. When that mass awakening happens, where will they turn? They'll turn to the oldest and most trusted forms of money: gold and silver. The gold to silver ratio is a key indicator here. Historically, this ratio has been around 15 to 1, meaning it took 15 ounces of silver to buy 1 ounce of gold. Today, that ratio is hovering around 80 to 1, sometimes even higher. This tells us that, relative to gold, silver is incredibly undervalued. For the ratio to return to its historical average, or even just to a more modern average of, say, 40 to 1, the price of silver would have to increase dramatically, far outpacing gold's gains. Imagine a scenario where a major financial crisis hits. The system freezes up. Confidence evaporates. People rush to physical precious metals. Gold will certainly do well. But the silver market is tiny compared to the gold market. It's estimated to be about 1/10 the size. So when a tidal wave of investment money tries to pour into this tiny market, the price action will be biblical. It's like trying to force a river through a garden hose. The pressure will be immense, and the price will have to skyrocket to accommodate that flow. This is the event that could launch silver well past $100, maybe even $200 or higher in a short period of time. And after that manic peak, when the dust settles and the market corrects, where will it find its new footing? It won't go back to $25. The world will have changed. The perception of silver will have been reset. Investors who bought in at higher prices and the industries that now must pay more will create a new psychological and physical price floor. That new floor, that new base camp for the next leg up, is what we believe will be around $75 per ounce. So let's put it all together. You have an industrial demand story that is locked in and accelerating due to the green energy and EV revolution. You have a supply-demand deficit that is draining stockpiles year after year. And you have a sleeping giant of monetary demand that is about to be woken up by global inflation and a loss of faith in fiat currencies. When these forces collide, the resulting price explosion will be something for the history books. The crash and recovery cycle will simply be the mechanism that launches us into this new pricing paradigm. The initial spike will be volatile, but the lasting effect will be the establishment of a much, much higher price floor. $75 won't be a target to dream about. It will be the new reality, the new support from which silver prepares its next historic move. This isn't about getting rich quick. It's about understanding the fundamental shifts happening in our world and positioning yourself to preserve your wealth and potentially grow it substantially. The case for silver is not a matter of if, but when. The signs are all there for those who are willing to see them. Thanks so much for watching today. This is a topic I'm incredibly passionate about, and I hope this analysis gave you some valuable food for thought. What do you think? Is $75 silver a fantasy or an inevitability? Let me know your price predictions in the comments below, and if you got value from this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the markets. Until next time, stay informed and invest wisely.